it is very hard as at this point to decipher which political party is giving us the truth, because I think for a period we've realized that propaganda is so much widespread in the system. But whenever we have a third person, someone who does not come from Ghana, giving us the tidbit, the truth, we want to take it as it is. I would want to give you all the info because this has happened to Ghana. But as always, Makamukomo Fanti.
TV Ghana, Matoda na Master.
Now, since I know say you're the chere or World Bank Director for Ghana, or opinion and Yankasi or Pierre Laporte. Next time you that two to go. I'm sure they say if NDC for what that means when your best will be. Now, we all agree that there are some kinds of propaganda with regards to economic indicators. Corner of the economy in Morocco. Even what's there, Bawumia Uzaku, she even was another Danko Fadu, you pay be a sabi on for now some fine engagement. So you pay be said there. One of worker that Mona, some work and so in the quote through door. One was so bad and once were dead. Because in your queen never buy a vice president, never buy a president. And many one bringing and the you. It is a sabi in your dama queen, and listen to my baby been and found one cassette Mufuno and another man and Cassanidi do oil him and then put the president now. Ye be said there. Say, Obi Baba Sunday Chinas to a yampia and a patcher then. Say, I the papa and Casabi or bottle daba. Now, where you with your benimana. Because I couldn't I'm sure they're looking at the Fourth Republic and even all the republics under Ghana. No. Vice President or former President John Dramani Mahama no onye dama kunyida as a vice president no so or your vice president twice or so by your president or to no daba. So if you have the opportunity na say dama kunyina and some supporters wakaka kanwa, I mean obiana adwenche so dey be amaka there, it is democracy. You have every opportunity to express one kasa views adwenche to them when obia will be into obi ancha na adwo, but e charge na enwu do limitation bi wo ho na de bi wo na se ka na so nya de kwara obi aba cheche na adwo na ma otin de se enya obi a oye NDC nya obeka nsama wa ye NDC foda nya obi oye MPP a no doubt ye benya obeka nsama obaye MPP government will protect the MPP government, but se enya obi a oye from the World Bank na sanso oye country director. I am telling you on a fact that nyimpa no ngina MPP ngina NDC nti se oka nsama no kwatodo. Now, you're the country director of Oil World Bank, Oil Pierre Laporte, I will to Mwakade. Pona the economy of Ghana, Nanka first, Oti, that time, Oil former President John Dramani Mahama, Otidono, and I asked now, no, and then I don't Kakufodu, Oil Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, one happening. Oh, there's a vast difference. Now, what's in there? First, then you may be one on yet, but Sisiano looking at COVID-19, Russia, Ukraine, one, then you may be a while to be asking at Yancham Nadibi Beno. Oh, there. As at now, Nupokwana dollar currency, in there, you may be crowd cosono, oh, there, Mampehin, no, Yanaban, Wabu money, pa. A befi de be a small mecanomoboa, a befi de be a mesho, a befi de be a master than a macaca, master margin be. Until sometimes as I come something you prove, or befi de be a hidzagra. Mako, me young now, but a cricket or ye dama, audio no, na Papana Casano, a bone of Cassa and Proclam or Chile day. I am piano being water tone on Yanako. One man connected say, Sama, World Bank country director, or the two.
Inflation, which was at some point 40, 54, almost 55%, came down to the 30s last week or so ago. 26%. Okay, 26%. That's a huge improvement, and it shows that that trend is broken, that we're going back towards low inflation. Growth, which had been forecasted to be something like 1%, I think now it's been growing faster. So the signs are there that the economy is turning around. But again, we should be cautious because sometimes there can be one-off increases, things don't continue, or sometimes improvements and then we get slack and then things. So for me, one, the economic indicators that recently came out are showing clearly that Ghana has now got hold of
signs of recovery.
Signs of recovery are there, yeah.
Or it has turned the corner.
It has turned the corner, and the foundations are there because low inflation is one of the most killing things. It's taxing, and if you manage to bring down inflation, it shows again, the monetary policy we discussed that before. Yes, interest rates are so high, but it was needed to stop inflation. Now, this is what we've seen, but I believe I think they tell me I'm too optimistic, but again I believe not because of optimism, but because the measures, the actions, the reforms that are now being taken, they will put Ghana on the road to a more viable economic.
So we are on that path to stability, and we haven't turned the corner yet. Some would say.
Well, but if your inflation was 40%, now it's 30, I think you've turned the corner. If your growth indicator is telling you that you're starting to grow faster, at least it's signs that the economy is on track for a turnaround. And
so we have turned the corner. Because there are some who still say that we want to see these developments as a blip and think that.
Yeah, I would say it's the beginning. It's the beginning. But give yourself time, the next quarter or so, a few months or so. But I believe that Ghana has turned the corner. But again, it needs to be sustained. I think, look, there were some your indicators that came out recently show this very well. Inflation, which was at some point 54, almost 55%, came down to the 30s last week or so ago.
26%.
Okay, 26%. That's
immense. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, one of the areas where we can help our private sector immensely is to transition from the informal economy that we have in many countries, especially in Ghana. That transition from the informal to more of a formalized economy. When we came into office, we were facing some major challenges in the area of the informal economy. Before you can really build an economy that is going to be transformational, policies that are going to be transformational, you need to take care of major problems that are in the informal economy. You look at an economy which in the informal sense tends to be very undisciplined. The society is undisciplined because the economy is informal and there are no consequences, significant consequences for bad actions. You have a society where corruption prevails. You have lawlessness. You have a tax dodging society. You have an unbanked society. You have a loan repayment dodging society. Identity fraud, people assuming identities of others, or fake identities, lack of address systems, age cheating, fake insurance, fake birth certificates, fake passports, no functional address systems, ghost workers on government payrolls. This sort of these ills of the informal economy that we really inherited makes it very difficult for the economy to transform to its potential. And that is why we set out to formalize the economy, to make sure that the economy worked on transparent systems. And that area of formalization of the economy, we relied heavily on digitalization of the economy to formalize the economy. And this is why we have been moving very steadily, and we've made a lot of progress in this particular area. We, of course, the anchor for the digitalization program has been the Ghana card that we issued. And today, we've enrolled over 17 million people on the Ghana card. And today, we have linked all bank accounts to the Ghana card, linked all SIM cards to the Ghana card. Your tax identification number is your Ghana card number. Your NHIS number is your Ghana card number. Today, we've linked the Ghana card to the Controller and Accountant Department payroll. Today, we are seeing this increase in formalization of the economy as a result of digitalization. And we are digitalizing all government services through Ghana.gov and so on. So what all of this is doing is bringing formalization and transparency, and that helps businesses. It makes the systems clearer. It reduces corruption. Because you can get services without actually going to meet anybody who will ask for a bribe. You can apply for services and buy electricity, get a passport, get a license and clear your goods from the port without really going to see anybody. And you can really get many of these things done. And this formalization of the economy is going to continue. The other day I was talking about one of the problems that we have in Ghana being the lack of an effective credit system as compared to what we see in most of the advanced countries. In Ghana, when you receive your paycheck, that is really what you try to rely on for the rest of the month.
Family, what can too much and I say 7 previous hour time. Come, it is okay. Yeah, your opportunity, yeah, I tell man for media terms, your opportunity to require it. What can say be a Thomas any the economists that we called?
Yeah.
Yes, he has said something. Who beside the election are related to this budget, and you also said that they will send the party to opposition. Kwame, I thank you for that. Kwame.
Nana Mitchell.
She sa budget we are baby. Mame fanya politics kakra. And you make or break a new patriotic party. Dedi kai Kwame. This is the last but one budget. Mr. Uforiate ebe ready. But so come deeper, this will be the last budget in a Kufuor's government. You know why? Because the next budget ebe ready, Kwame, will be 3 weeks before the general election. And what's the deal? Budget be ebe ready in the election year. Abandon tank can who too much. Because unim say obeko opposition and I say obetra ben. They make out pass.
Yeah, me too. No.
Say because the next election, the next budget be say ready after tomorrow. The next budget will be middle of November. That middle of November 2 weeks aye December. Another week 7 days near 7 December. Near election. Eti abai ye budgeter. Anytime be an very careful. You understand? Strategically, obitimi eshada epia and no be the good budget. Me say like ye pese ye on say aban we buy no wa be jade agu o ye make no atase. That one is there. So who show me ye pa Kwame? This is the last budgeter Mr. Uforiate presented to save a situation. Now, sa budget we say it should be a budgeter a deep hope ever bred this country.
Exactly.
Asa bibia no hobium. So present an ordinary budget said the year who here film no Kwame. Ordinary budget na obama duma na ye dey dia ma Dr. Bawumia. Dr. Bawumia should go and sleep and forget about 2024. Kwame, it's a simple
budget na fa hope bi ama.
Oh Kwame, afa hope bi ama. Afa drive bi ama. And the hope ever ma this country. The only hope is the economic indicators. The next 24 months, how you are going to make sure that all the economic indicators will be flying. You understand? The economist unemployment, inflation, and interest rate. A boost to kakra in order so betimi di aye debate. Say no power there at the nothing. What kind of functions of a year? The functions of finance minister. I was reading it right now. Was say formulate, implement, monitor, and evaluate microeconomic, fiscal, and financial policies for sustainable development. 1, 2, ensure effective mobilization of domestic and external resources. On and on and on, but time factor. let me focus on ensure effective mobilization of domestic and external resources.